What up guys, Kelvin here. Today we're gonna be looking at when did your gut feeling save you. Okay, these are some of the craziest story ever. So be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Let's get this video to maybe 20 likes. That would be amazing. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram, KelvinD1995. Link will be in the description below. And yeah, let's get right in with the show. I woke up at 3 a.m. once sitting upright in bed. I felt on alert and my heart raced when I saw that my cat was on the alert too, wide awake by my feet with his ears perked up. But I didn't see or hear anything weird. Something didn't feel right and I couldn't relax. Something bad is about to happen, I got a feeling. So I got up and went to the kitchen, turned on some lights and ate some food even though I wasn't that hungry. Eventually went back to bed. We discovered the next morning that someone had stopped while in the process of using some kind of tool to silently cut a big hole in the glass window in the living room. They were trying to break in right next to the bathroom. I think the lights I turned on scared them away. So your house was about to get robbed in the middle of the night. Good thing you were hungry that night and ate some food and turned on the light. If you didn't, man, I bet these guys would have came into your house and stole some stuff. Might even use the weapons, who knows, since you're in the house. Someone came to my work that gave me the I am in danger feeling. I work in a place where 60% of my customers are children and I naturally get very protective of them. But you can't call the police because someone's creeping you out. He kept getting close to the children but not doing anything or even making them uncomfortable, so there still wasn't anything I could do. He leaves and I shrug it off. Another customer soon come in and gave me the same feeling. So I am thinking I am just insist today. He is talking about Donkey Kong and stuff, casual conversation. Then he says, I am best friends with Martin Bryant, the spree killer from the 1996 Port Arthur massacre, who is in the solitary confinement and can't even interact with whoever has to throw his food at him. So I am getting a bit nervous now. Then the first creepy guy come in and the one I was talking to says, I know him, we went to the prison together. So immediately I started having a panic attack and I had to end the conversation as quickly as possible so I can contact the manager to say I need someone else to come into the store. I was there alone and they immediately called the police. Turned out they were both registered sex offenders. Neither were allowed anywhere near my work because it is too close to the CBD and they are legally not allowed near anywhere that could have children there. I actually recently went to court for this, waited hours to go in and he pleaded guilty at the very last second. Good thing these children were safe, okay? It had a happy ending. Ooh, that was close. There has been a few times where I haven't listened to my gut, but one sticks out where I did. I used to live in a smaller Minnesota town down near some train tracks and a bike running path that extend out of the town into the woods. One evening I am sitting outside on my porch drinking a couple of beers with my buddy. Two dudes walk on us kind of out of nowhere and immediately something seems off with them. It is a college town and drunk people come out onto your porch a lot or randomly just say hello on the way to or from the bars downtown. But these dudes had a bad vibe to them. I had a little black Louisville Slugger lying next to me on the porch, so I grabbed and just held it across my lap. One dude asked us, you guys got an extra smoke? Buddy says no. The other guy come out real close, almost into the porch and says, did you see my face? I just kept looking forward but not directly at him and just said, nah man, we didn't see anything. He said something like, good, little punk. And they both walk away. 2 nights later, I'm sitting in my living room with the same buddy and the local news is on. 2 guys arrested for robbing and stabbing a man a couple nights back on the trail down by the train track next to where I live. My buddy had a look at their faces coming out and I had seen the dude clear as day that had asked for the smoke. It was those same freaking guys. Holy crap. That is scary. What if you piss one of them off? They might just do something really bad to you. Good thing you are lucky and you stay calm and just told them, hey, we don't have any smoke for you guys, okay? So just leave. At age 5, I was almost adopted by strangers at the park who had a bunch of toys on a blanket and tried to lure me into their motorhome. I looked back to my dad, who was talking to his friend maybe 100 yards away. I got a tummy ache when one of them tried to coax me by reaching for my arm to lead me away, and I screamed and ran like hell back to my dad. Years later, I found out those same people had adopted other kids who weren't so lucky. Never ignore a gut feeling sense. Yeah, good thing you listen to your gut feeling, okay? What if you got kidnapped and then sent to another country for child slave? Yeah, that would not be a pretty picture right there. Was riding my motorcycle with a friend on the back. We were going down a country road behind a truck holding a bunch of old car tires when all of a sudden I decided we shouldn't be there, so I slowed way down to let the truck go ahead of us. Just as I did, one of the tires fell off the truck and landed right where we would have been. That is why motorcycles, they are so dangerous. What if the tire actually hit you? You would have fell out of your motorcycle and went flying. Well, I was walking home, wasn't late, and I am from a pretty safe area, but it was that time of year when it starts to get dark really early, so it felt kind of ominous. Anyway, I passed this guy in a red sweater and a red tracksuit bottom, and he looked at me funny. Maybe he is high, maybe he is drunk. Either way, something's not quite right about him. I kept going. Look behind me. He is still there. Cross the road. He crossed with me. As soon as I turned a corner, I sprint to my apartment complex and run into the coded gate and wait. He walked out a minute later and stared at me through the gate. He just stared at me for a good 10 or so seconds, then ran back the way he came. Shivers. Man, I have some anxiety reading this story, okay? It just looked like he is about to rape you or something in the middle of the night, you know, so dark you can't even see the face. I am a firefighter. We got a call out to a tree fire started by falling power line. We pulled on in the truck, and I am trusting that my driver and crew leader are looking the job and have a good situation awareness. We get out of the truck and we park next to a set of fire power lines, not falling. It is a very windy night and I can see the lines swimming, so I voice my concern to my crew leader, who says you'll be fine. We get out, hose out, risk of the tree fire catching onto a house outweighing potential risk of arching, plus the line disconnected when it fell, and I am on the branch ready to start putting it out with two others near me when I got a chill. I look out to see the line swimming violently and yell, "Everyone freaking move!" As the three of us sprint and dive out of the way, we hear a whoop and crack, and sure enough, the line we're under came loose and stayed connected to the power pole. If I haven't got that chill chance, we would have had 3 fried fairies. Had a friend who said we should go to this party he was invited to by a classmate of his. We ended up driving out to it. We noticed the neighborhood was not too pleasant and sketchy. We saw that house had some lights on and backyard but kind of quiet for a party. I decided that we should not go since something felt really off. Friend ended up finding the classmate that invited him got robbed and threatened when he went to the party. It ended up being a fake party. What the heck? So your classmate purposely invite you to a party and then you end up getting robbed. What kind of, that's messed up. Some dude get off the bus at the same stop as me. It's about 8 p.m. in October, so it's quite dark outside already. He has spoken to me on the bus. I cross the road and make a mental note of him walking the opposite way to me. I make sure to watch him walking away. Something in my gut says not to trust him. To get to my house, I have to walk on a hill with a path alongside a high stone wall. It is secluded. Usually I listen to music as I walk. I decide not to this time. I am about halfway up when I get this awful feeling. I take out my phone, dial my mother's phone number, and as I do hear fast step of someone running up behind me. I know it is the guy before I turn around, and as I do, he is literally running full speed toward me. I looked him dead in the eye, ready to fight for my life. As I do this, my mother answers her phone and I say, "Hi mom." He slows right down to a light jog and says, "Evening," as he jogs past me. I ask my mom to stay on the line. Her boyfriend come out to meet me at the top of the hill. The guy is nowhere to be seen. He was definitely running up behind me to strike me, and by turning to face him, I am certain it threw him off. The guy that is running toward him sounds like he was about to knock him out and get all his money or something. Went to a college party and one of the guys made me feel very uncomfortable. He didn't ever do anything to me, but something seems off. I kept dumping my socks because getting smashed seems like a bad idea. I ended up taking a friend and leaving while he told us that we were being lame by not having more of the Grey Goose. He raped another girl at the party that night. Oh, that story is so sad. I had a similar experience in college. I went to a frat party at another school and just got a really bad vibe. The guy had a separate bowl of punch for girls, which wasn't that unusual in itself, or that maybe it should be. And I noticed some of the girls seemed off way too drunk, so I helped them get out there. Warned the other girls at the party and called campus security on the frat. It turned out that a bunch of girls were roofied at the party and had to be hospitalized. It all got swept under the rug, and there were no penalty for the fraternity as far as I know. Worked as a sock girl at a pub. One night I rejected someone who attempted to get my number. Not unusual, and he doesn't seem that bothered. The whole exchange wasn't strange to me. In the early hours after the bar closed, I went to leave through the back door into the car park like usual. When I saw the sensor light outside was on, someone was stood just outside the door. I felt uneasy, so I went out the front and asked one of the bouncers to walk me around the back to my car. As we rounded the corner, we spotted this guy lurking outside the door, holding his belt like a makeshift gottery. When he saw us, he started screaming that I was a freaking bee and it should die. He scampered off into the road and never came back. That guy, he sounds like he was mad because he didn't get your number. So he might have done something really bad to you. Good thing you had someone walk you out to your car. Not me, but my best friend was driving to California from Arizona with her 2-year-old for work about 5 months ago, and she stopped at a gas station and just got a weird feeling. She normally doesn't lock her car when she pumps gas, but she decided to do it. During that process, a woman came up to her and started talking all nice and whatnot. She got an uneasy feeling about it and heard a noise like someone trying to open a door. She turned around and saw the woman's husband trying to get into the car to steal her baby. She told him to get the freak away from her car, and the man tried to play it off. She told them to freak off and got in her car to leave. The couple got in their vehicle and followed her, tried to swerve her off the road and brake check her on the highway for a few miles. She was smart enough to call the cop. This was in Prime, Nevada, by the way, and they caught up to her and ended up arresting the couple. They had gotten multiple reports that day of issues like that. Man, what is wrong with these people? Okay, that is just wrong. Posted this before. Took my 2 baby to an in-house daycare run by a lovely woman. About 9 days in, the woman's teenage son was home when I picked up my kids. He gave me a super creepy vibe. Pulled the kids from the daycare and placed them elsewhere. When I was in middle school and around 14 years old, I was returning home. I lived like 5 minutes away from said school, and I noticed there was a man following me. He wasn't looking at me. He was looking at his phone, and he wore a cap, so I wasn't able to see his face fully. Anyway, he gave off this weird vibe. I reached my apartment building and the guy was still behind me. I know mostly everyone who lived in my neighborhood. and I couldn't recall him. Last moment I decided I wasn't going to go inside the hallway. I turned around, went to a store where I waited for my mom to come. A few weeks after, there was some news about an 11-year-old girl from my school who was raped in the building right behind mine 2 days after the incident. The guy they caught looked a lot like the guy who was following me, and given the time frame and the proximity, there is a high chance that it was him. My question is, why is a 11-year-old walking home alone? Okay, there should be a parent picking her up. You know, it's too dangerous for an 11-year-old to walk home by herself, even if it's like 5 minutes. That's enough time for something bad to happen. I am a petite woman and it was 19 at the time. Had a late shift that ended at 10 p.m. Hit the grocery before my walk home about 10 blocks. I got full on of groceries, noticed a car drove past me in the opposite direction. Heard it pull a U-turn behind me and park. I tell myself, probably just getting home from work too, but then I heard footsteps behind me. I turn around and it's a man in his 30s, I guess. He doesn't say anything, but start walking while I start walking. I keep walking, bit faster now, and I can hear him speed up too. I turn around again and say, hey man, what's up? He says nothing. I turn around and keep walking, almost at a mini jog pace, and I heard him speed up too. I was about 4 blocks away from home. The adrenaline kicked in. I dropped my bag and booked it. Made it home, told my boyfriend that it was happening. As he go outside to find the guy, dude drive by in his car right past my house. We call the cops, give them a description, and the operator tell us they had other calls about the same guy. Really hoping he never actually caught someone. Really hoping his creepy would end up in jail. Really happy I listened to my gut. I was in Turkey for vacation when I was about 7 or 8 years old, and I made friends with some other tourists but also some locals, all around the age range of 8 to 16. These 2 local guys were about 16, and at one point during the late afternoon, they asked if I wanted to go with them to go-kart outside of the hotel area. Approximately 30 seconds of walking along with them, I got the most chilling feeling I ever had in my life. All the hairs on my skin rose up and I had this super uneasy feeling deep in my gut. It actually felt like some supernatural force was beckoning me to deep. I turned my heels and sprinted so fast to get back to the hotel. I didn't even look back. When I returned, my mother asked where I had been. I told her I was taking a rough crap. Oddly enough, I was quite fond of those guys before this happened. But thinking about this in retrospect, why would 2 local 16-year-olds have any genuine interest in go-karting with a young 8-year-old tourist? I feel like I may have dodged a bullet. We may never know. This was a few years back. I came out of a club in my hometown after a heavy night of drinking. I was a student then and out with a lot of university friends that I lost during the night. I was alone. I was going to get a taxi home but thought I could do it with some McDonald's first. We have a big 24-hour one in our town. During my jogging walk toward the McDonald's, I heard crying coming from one of the dark narrow alleyways we have in our town. I followed the noise down the alleyway until I came across a woman with her face toward the wall. She had a hoodie covering her face and had no distinguishing features. At first glance, I thought that maybe said being assaulted or mugged. Like where else would there be a woman crying in an alleyway? Anyway, as I got closer to her in the poorly lit alleyway, I saw 2 giant industrial bins between her and myself. It wasn't until I got between a few feet of the bins that I stopped. It was like a giant shot went through my body. I don't know how to adequately explain it other than a primal instinct. Within 2 seconds of seeing them bins that are large enough for people to hide behind, the dark lighting of the alleyway, and the faceless woman crying, I was 50% sure I was a prey. I felt an urge to run away. It was like something inhuman in me was telling me to run my freaking leg out of that dark place. When I got to the light at the end of the alleyway, I turned to see if anybody was chasing me. Nobody was, but nobody was crying also. Wow, that sounds like a scary scene from a movie right there. I was a young, naive freshman in college and had basically no experience talking to boys. This guy had sat next to me for my whole 2-hour psych lecture and casually talked to me the whole time. Just little comment about the lecture, showing me things on his laptop, innocent stuff. When the lecture ended, we got outside, it was pouring. Like to this day, I have seen rain like that maybe twice in my life. Rain that would physically hurt to walk in. He offered me a ride and I said yes, but as he was pulling the car out, I thought to myself, don't get in, and took off running to my dorm. Saw him on the news a few months later for assaulting 2 women. What the heck? That was an unexpected plot twist, okay? I thought these 2 are gonna be like boyfriend and girlfriend, you know, because they had the same class together, but no. Unexpected ending right there. Alright guys, this is about the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed it, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Let's get this video to maybe 20 likes. That would be amazing. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram, KelvinLee1995. Link will be in the description below. And make sure to check out other videos on this channel. And yeah, my name is Kelvin and I'll see you guys next video.